I'm your play-by-play for the night, Jordan Kurtz. You can give me a follow along online at Comments from the Peanut Gallery. I am joined here by my man, the Armenian Nightmare, R. Petrosian. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, my man?
I am so excited for a night full of caged violence here on Friday the 13th, a night that is deeply rooted in bloody violence and gore. Thank you all so much for tuning in along from home. We are live here at the Stampede in the all-American town, Aurora, Colorado. All right, real quick, where can people follow you?
Hey, man, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Art303MMA.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few bouts on schedule for you tonight. We have a Muay Thai main event. Way to the venue, Javon Dale, our current reigning champion, was T-boned by a lady who ran a red light. Unfortunately, we're all kind of at a loss for words. He's where all the thoughts and prayers are going to Javon. We will keep you in the loop with everything for the rest of the card right now, but starting us off, we have Seth Wilson, who just made his way to the cage. The 31-year-old comes from Denver, Colorado, training out of high-altitude martial arts. He fancies himself as a freestyle fighter. This is his debut tonight. He has an extremely seasoned corner tonight in Robert Salisbury, as well as Mr. Alaska Ben Bennett.
Yeah, man, I'm excited for this one. These guys are going to put on a good show for us.
Absolutely, and making his way now to the red corner, we have the 23-year-old trench kid, Fernando Ornelas. Ornelas comes originally out of Colorado, representing Genesis Training Academy. He is a freestyle fighter, also making his debut. Again, a star-studded corner of a couple of stalwart fixtures of the Colorado MMA scene. He is going to have the Super Jew, Micah Haas, as well as Grant Neal in his corner tonight.
Yeah, man, it doesn't get much better than that. You know, I mean, Grant Neal, former top 10 Bellator light heavyweight and middleweight in the world, and then you got the undefeated. So, don't know too much, but he's listed as freestyle, so it looks like he's probably comfortable everywhere.
Love to see it. I mean, when you have a couple of guys who are making their debut, we can expect to see a little bit of nervous energy. Though I will also offer that sometimes that's curbed a little bit based off of the camps that these fighters come from. Because these guys come from very well-respected and very well-prepared camps. They're in the room with high-level guys on a daily basis, so sometimes that kind of helps temper those nerves, but at the end of the day, it's the human complex, right? This is something that is a brand new, uncharted territory for them. A lot of that is just managing yourself through this process, right? The nerves, the breathing, how do you take into effect the crowd when something happens either in your favor or not in your favor? There is so many variables that these guys will face for the first time tonight, Art, and you could speak a little bit more fluently to that.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And you look at both guys coming from big gyms, so you know they're prepared and you know they've been in some real fights in the gym. So, man, this one's going to be exciting.
Both these fighters are making their debuts this evening, starting in the red corner, Fernando Ornelas, weighing in at 169.20, fighting out of Genesis Training Academy, Fernando Ornelas. And in the blue corner, fighting from Altitude Martial Arts, weighing in at 168.80, making his debut this evening as well, Seth Wilson!
Oscar Martinez, the third man in there tonight. This bout, or this evening of bouts, I should say, ladies and gentlemen, is sanctioned by the Colorado Combative Sports Athletic Commission. Our ring announcer for the evening, Mr. Alex Ramirez of the Final Word on Mile High Sports.
Excited to see how these guys start off. There's probably going to be a lot of nervous energy with both of their debuts here.
And it's always interesting to see, too, sometimes when there's a little bit of the age gap. You know, Seth got into the game a little bit later on as far as age-wise than Fernando, but he looks to be in good shape, and he's pumping his jab right away, has some good angles with his footwork. It's a matter of now, how do each of these guys find their entries, and once the first punch lands, it could be a totally different fight.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Open stances right now as they exchange some blows initially, measuring each other out right here in the center of the cage. Southpaw stance from Wilson, orthodox from Ornelas.
Seth's putting a little bit of pressure on him, but Fernando's looking to counter. Oh,
big left hand right away from Seth Wilson. Collar tie to an uppercut.
He rocked Fernando with that straight left. He's looking for it again. Fernando needs to get his feet moving. Can't stand in front of a big, strong guy like this.
And Fernando, it looks to be in his stance alone. He's also a little square art. Maybe it just is my angle from here, but the angle, he's leaving a broad target to strike.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially being at the disadvantage on the length side of things, he's got to move ahead. High kick right there. Hey, even though that's blocked, that still hurts.
Oh, definitely. Shin to the forearm. Doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes, hey, you punch yourself in the process if you don't have your catch up high enough, right?
Yeah.
He's got some bruising going on right now around that right eye. Hey,
nice
return high kick.
question mark kick by Fernando. He needs to put a little more volume out there. He needs to get a little respect going because this guy's just walking him down right now.
And Fernando lists his favorite fighter as Khabib. He mentioned that in our pre-fight interview. Looks like a slip there off of the kick, but dangerous position. Oscar Martinez right on top of the action. One of the best officials that we have here in the state of Colorado.
He needs to work up. Fernando needs to work up. He can't stay here. There we go. Seth just kind of let him up.
Not a bad move. Yeah. Seth is having a lot of success on the feet right now, and it looks like he's breathing a little bit heavy. It's not that he's having massive diaphragm breathing going on, but you could tell that it's a little bit of those, oh wow, like I'm in this type of breaths, right?
He just swung a big one and missed.
And now he recovers in on a single leg. They work their way back up to the feet. Body lock pressed up against the fence.
Fernando needs to start digging for his underhooks and looks to start turning Seth here. He can't just hang out. He needs to shoulder bump so he can get his right hand in there.
Agreed. I would like to see some counter wrestling in the process. He's gotten buzzed a couple of times. Let's figure out a different strategy right now because you're not disrupting the timing. You're having the worst end of the exchanges on the feet here. You got to do something to mix it up.
Yeah, definitely, man. They just exchanged some nice knees there, but there's another one by Seth, another one by Fernando. Let's see how they regroup and come out for the second round.
As always, when we're talking about two debutantes, there is the potential that we see an adrenaline dump. There is the chance that one of these guys may come out in the second round and in any sort of debut fashion, or especially early fighters in their career, they may look like they're guns blazing one round and the next their feet are stuck in the mud. And that's those nerves. That's that adrenaline dump. That's that feeling of that exhale, and then as soon as you're done, your legs are rubber, your feet are stuck in concrete, your lungs feel like they're blown out, your heart is pounding through your chest, your arms feel like they can't lift, you have cement bricks inside of your gloves.
For sure.
But you have a human who is across the cage who is looking to do harm with bad intentions coming your way, so you got to figure out how to manage that and get yourself back on track.
Yeah, exactly, man. No matter how you feel, no matter what's going on, when you're in here, you just got to leave it all out there. Let's see how they do here in the second round. Fernando's going to need to get some respect here.
Totally agree. And with that, I would like to see him initiate some grappling exchanges. Again, he mentioned Khabib, that's his favorite fighter. Yeah. Let's see some wrestling. Make Seth actually have to honor, even if you don't take him all the way down, make him have to respect the threat of the takedown.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that. A nice body kick by Fernando.
Met with a nice little counter on the exchange too.
Yeah.
And with some of that, where I feel like an opportunity could be for Fernando is everything is go. He's not doing a whole lot of feinting to stop the feet of Seth.
Yeah. He's getting busy with his kicks right now. He just needs to add his hands to that. Level change stuffed by Seth. Seth looks like he's physically the stronger guy here, so this cage work's going to favor him. Oh, low blow, it looks like.
A little bit of a low blow there. And that's also something sometimes that we see too, Art, right? Like I don't venture to guess that Fernando cut a whole ton of weight for this fight?
No, he didn't. He's by looking at him, like, he looks like he could be a 55, honestly.
Exactly. Yeah, and just frame-wise, he's he's smaller in stature. The length is a discrepancy. Whereas on the flip side, coming from a very pro heavy camp, I just looking at the musculature and the body type, I would venture to say that Seth went through a fairly normal weight cut. He's a true welterweight.
For sure, I'd agree. Seth's starting to land some nice low kicks. And Fernando returns one.
So we're right here off of the corner for Seth Wilson, and I think that his corner, Mr. Alaska, just brought up a great thing. Because Fernando is not using feints, everything is a go. Seth is recognizing where he has some counter opportunities off of it because everything is go, right? Nothing is stopping his feet in the process. Fair assessment so far?
Yeah, definitely.
But this is what Fernando needs to do right now. Start making it dirty. Yes. Make it grimy.
Fernando's starting to pick it up here. He's landed some nice body kicks. You can see a little bit of redness on the side of Seth's body.
Yes, exactly.
Nice knee to the body. Fernando looks like he's having fun out there.
He's starting to feel himself a little bit. Short time here in the second round.
Seth shoots in for a nice double, and he gets it.
Strong double leg to close out the second round here. Is it enough to still the round, though, is the question. That's a question in some of these very close fights. I'm glad that I'm not a judge here, Art.
Yeah. I mean, if he can get off some ground and pound and hold him here on the ground, I mean, he's probably going to steal it, but let's see what happens here. He's fishing for the triangle, but...
Yeah, Seth still has two arms inside.
Yeah. Fernando's doing nice hitting him from the bottom, but he needs to work on getting up.
Agreed. And on the flip side, though, the guard has been open for the majority of that exchange, and Seth didn't do anything to pass either.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting position to score in that sense.
I mean, that was a lot closer round. I'd give the first round to Seth. The second round was kind of a toss-up.
The second round was very close. We could very well be looking at a 19-19 bout coming into this. 10-point must system is in effect tonight. We could also be looking at a 2018 scorecard situation right now in favor of Seth Wilson. One way or the other, if I'm in the red corner, if I'm Micah and I'm Grant, I'm stressing a sense of urgency right now that you got to go out and get this fight right now. We can't leave it in the hands of the judges, or we can't trust that we took away that second round, especially with giving up that takedown at the end of the round. We were starting to have some better of the exchanges. Momentum was starting to shift in our direction, but we need to go put a stamp on it right now.
I agree. He has to come out this third round, just let it all hang right here. He can't leave anything in the tank. He needs this round, definitely, but a finish is obviously what he needs to be looking for.
On the flip side, if I'm Seth, I'm working off of my jab. I'm working everything off of my jab. I'm staying long, and I'm utilizing my range to my advantage in this fight.
Oh, nice spinning back fist by Fernando, but a counter left by Seth.
It's a tall ask, but the left hand of Seth has steadily started to creep down. If Fernando can reach that high kick up top, there could be an opportunity there, especially from this open stance.
Yeah, I think he can definitely reach it. It's just last time he threw it, kind of fell on his back. He might be a little bit hesitant to be taken down again.
Exactly. I mean, and that all comes with the right setup, right? You got to set the trap, set his feet.
Yeah, Fernando's got to go here. There it is. There you go. There you go.
Big combinations. Micah Haas in the corner saying move forward. He needs it now.
Yes, that's good cornering by Micah.
Good knee to the body right there on the clinch from Seth Wilson.
He's got to stuff this. He's got to stuff this.
Hands are locked. Secures the double leg takedown right up against his corner in a very good position right now after Seth. Seth is starting to work body, head with the ground and pound. Half guard situation right now for Fernando from the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, if he hangs out here, this is not going to be good. He's got to work to get up. There you go. He's got the feet on the hips. He's got to go.
He's got to have a big explosive movement here soon. Seth, on the flip side, I don't blame him for collecting and taking a couple of breaths here. The best thing that Seth could do right now is try to pass. And there he is. He passes right now to side control off of the throw up triangle attempt there.
That's the problem with sometimes when you go for submissions like that and give up position. Now you got this big guy inside.
Big left hand on the ground lands for Seth Wilson. Seth Wilson dives right back in into the guard. 2 arms right back in, avoids the triangle attempt initially. I think that was smart, though. I think that was smart for Seth to pursue him right away back on the ground and don't give this the chance to go back to the feet. Continue to maintain this dominant position and just score.
Yeah, I mean, he's winning the round here, so, you know, there's no reason why he shouldn't just stay here and just chip away and get the win.
The guard is open right now, and his coach Robin is asking for him to pass the guard again. Fernando looking to go for a leg here. Some defense.
There
gets out, scoots. A reversal here. Switch of the positions.
Fernando needs to get the wizard going, but he gave up his back.
Short time left in the round here.
He did good work there, but you could tell he needs to work on his wrestling a little bit more.
What a fight to open up the night, though. I mean, these two guys went out there. They scrapped like a couple of cats and dogs. That was 2 humans and a ball of dust. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a good little banger.
Now this fight will be up to the 3 judges that we have sitting here cage side at the Stampede. How did you folks have it from home? Let us know online. You can hit me up at Comments from the Peanut Gallery on Instagram or Threads. That's Jordan Kurtz.
For a debut fight, you know, if you think about it, it's a great experience for both guys, you know, going the distance. You know, pretty equal matchup. I would just say Fernando is a little bit little undersized for the division. But either way, a great experience.
Absolutely, you know, and in the sense of, I think that that's a good gauge, though, too, also for someone like Fernando to know that, hey, you know what? Maybe I do need to actually consider the weight cut and, you know, getting down to a little bit more appropriate dimensions, if you will, with my opponents.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you
it's not
right
to say
now,
that he wasn't competitive. I'm not trying to knock it by that sense, but there were exchanges in that fight where it was absolutely a difference of just physical power.
Yeah.
Size and power.
Yeah, he was overpowered with some of those takedowns, and he was overpowered a little bit on the cage. So he can either try and put on some size, but I think going to 55 will probably be his best bet.
Well, and height, and I mean, it is. I say this from a point of respect, but he's in his corner right now with Micah Haas, who he's about roughly the same height, and Micah fights at flyweight.
Yeah, exactly.
So just that being said, you know, you have Seth on the flip side, who's over 6 feet tall. You're going to be fighting an uphill battle if you're not a just super muscled up guy. Like Grant on the flip side also is very similar height as all of them over there, but you're talking about a guy who is diesel in terms of muscle mass.
Yeah, he's thick.
Exactly, he's thick. Grant has quads that are bigger than most people's waist.
Yeah.
So that's to put that in perspective.
Yeah. He was my main training partner for a while, so I felt all of that.
Tonight, all 3 judges scored the card 29, 28, 29, 28, 29, 28, and a unanimous decision tonight. Seth Wilson!
I think that was the right call, 2-1.
I agree. 29-28, absolutely the right call for that contest. I mean, but at the same time, Fernando, you should walk out of here with your head high. You have a lot of positives to be able to build off of. Yeah. We will hear from our winner.
It was good. He was way tougher than I expected. And I'm really grateful for my people.
You want to thank
My family. And I'm just really thankful for them.
Congratulations. Seth Wilson, you're the winner of tonight's first bout. Congratulations.
And there you have it right there. Congratulations to Seth Wilson picking up that victory tonight in his MMA debut at the Stampede.